So, just to give you a quick introduction, we're talking to Bernd. He is the founder of VNC and the mastermind behind VNClagoon, and he will tell us some things about VNClagoon AI and especially the local AI PC that we have now really set up. Bernd, what will we see today?
Yeah, let me share some screens with you. Before I start, as you know, my favorite explanation about AI is the following. For me, it consists of three basic, let's say, building blocks. Number one, system infrastructure. Number two, prompt engineering. And number three, UI, UX. So what does that mean? Number one, system infrastructure. I think it's very important to select the best and most adequate tools related to the application you're running. Number two is about prompt engineering. So this is very crucial to, improve the prompting to get the best result possible. And number three, you will see it's about implementation of system infrastructure tools and the prompt engineering into the modern UI. So let me explain this chart here. I think you see my mouse cursor.
Yes?
And first of all, as you know, within VNClagoon, we do have, by default, which is pretty unique, by the way, a Solar search. Because all our applications we are using or we are developing are kind of, let me start just an example, VNC Talk in our dev environment, or it's even in the live environment. Let me look for a VNClagoon, for instance, in our advanced search. And what you will see here is all the recent, entries in our entire suite, which contains this term VNClagoon. So it's in chats, it's in contacts, it's in any kind of application. So this is very important to understand that each and every application, so talk, mail, CRM, you name it, is updating the index in real time. So in the index we're using is Solar. So why do I stress that? For a very simple reason. Because what we do now with AI prompting is that we use the Solar index, which contains each and every information within the stack, as I mentioned, and we are starting to prompt against the Solar index. So what kind of prompting opportunities do we have? First of all, the source we are prompting to can be private or public. What does it mean? Private is the company data, and public is anything outside in the internet. So there you will later see you can use any kind of AI tool. The processing, as we call it, can be done either server side or, and this is the beauty, by working with this brand new Intel Core Ultra 7 with a Lunar Lake processor built in. So then you also can, and you will see, use local AI.
So that's the
The model,
machine that you are using right now?
exactly. I'm
Ah,
using an
okay.
Asus newest laptop with Intel Core Ultra 7 and the Lunar Lake built in. You will
Cool.
see when we run some AI prompting, you will see the CPU, the GPU, let's say, in action. And is there any information? There should be some information. Here you see Intel Core Ultra 7. So what kind of models are we using? You will see it in this slide here. So again, we have the Solar search. We search against VNClagoon and the entire VNClagoon database on the one side, which is then updating in real time the index. The database, by the way, is of course Postgres. So the AI prompt. AI prompt means we can use a local AI PC. I'm going to show you shortly. And with this local AI, we do have local large language models, maybe later even small language models installed on the local PC. This means also that we can prompt either in the local document store, which of course is synced automatically from the company server, if you like, or you do have your really private document store. So there you have all the documents you can prompt against. Or the other option, of course, is that you also prompt against the applications which are synced locally, because as many people might already know, VNC Talk, VNC Mail, or VNC Contacts, VNC Tasks do have an offline functionality. So it's similar to Outlook with VNC Mail. You do have all your data synced on your laptop. So that's local AI PC. As I said, we're going to show you later. And now let's go to the server-side prompting. Here we have, as I said, the private stuff and the public stuff. Talking about private means we prompt using, for instance, these models. So it's Llama, Llama 2, Llama 3, it's Lava, it's Mistral, Nemo. So as you see, we can install any kind of, language model, which is preferably, because we want to use as much local AI as possible, preferable compatible with OpenVINO, because OpenVINO is Intel's open source tool to reduce inference levels and so improve performance, and on the other side, reduce the size of these large language models. Nevertheless, some people also want, of course, to use something like Grok or ChatGPT or Gemini or you name it. So we also allow to use a public prompting. So here again, you can have the publicly installed Llama, Lava, Mistral, Olama, you name it, and you just do a public prompting against these large language models. Of course, in many cases, you have to be aware, you have to pay for it. So it can be quite significant costs that occur in your organization, but it's possible. So again, AI prompt against on the local PC with your local data, prompt via the server with your private data. So the entire VNClagoon store again, and public means just go to the outside world, search whatever you like.
So that
So
means a real benefit regarding security, privacy, and you have a real control over
exactly,
which data are
exactly.
you using, which applications are feeding the data, and which models you use and how you train these models, correct?
Yes, correct. So
Mm-hmm.
this, of course, the public section here, of course, all your prompts will get stored by Grok, by ChatGPT, and whatever you use. So this is a kind of, yeah, I would say semi-privacy, if at all.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go to the private source, server private source, here again, as I said, you just prompt against your corporate data. Nevertheless, your prompts might get stored on the company server. Therefore, the super secure and also private kind of prompting should take place here on the
Mm-hmm.
local AI PC, because even the prompt stays on the machine. The prompt is a kind of metadata, if you like. And if you always prompt some stupid stuff and do it via a server, I mean, your admin or whoever could get back to you and say, hey, what are you doing here? So use local AI PC, my recommendation, wherever possible.
Cool. So show us, please.
Yeah, let's go to our client, to one of our clients. This is the VNC Talk client, as you see. And we added, as you can see here, a new menu item. So on the one side, we can easily go to this download model stuff. Currently, we offer 3 models to download, but as I said, this could be many. Only requirement compatible with OpenVINO. So for instance, we do have Tiny Llama, Llama 2, and Llama 3. We do have our models folder, and you see all the model stuff. This model, for instance, the bin file is 5.2 gigabyte, so quite significant. But on the other side, you will see with perfect performance and very interesting results. So, and here we have a smaller one, a tiny llama, and the bin file is about 1 gigabyte, for instance. So this is the model folder you're going to download. And now let's go to preference. So in preference, as I said, we do also have, remember number 2, prompt engineering. Here you could kind of, formulate a proper prompt and also the kind of answering structure you would expect. This is something where selected user within an organization can work on prompt optimization, number 1, or number 2, you can also save some prompts if you have repeating tasks, for instance. It makes, in my opinion, it makes sense to have some prompts you can select from a list. Next menu option, as you can see here, we activated local language models. So that means we are using local compute power with the Score Ultra 7 Lunar Lake. And the models we have selected, or the model we are going to select, in this case is the I think it's the 64K Llama 3 model. Let me select again, not to lose it. Just go to this folder, LLMs. We use the 64, select the folder. Here we go. Local LLM is ready, as you can see, and here's the type of model we have selected. Apart from that, as you know, and I talked about, you do also have internal documents, of course. So let me get back to the Windows view. Here you have local documents, and I just stored some documents here in this document store. And as I mentioned, we do have a tool, it's called VNC Cloud. And VNC Cloud means that we sync corporate data, your corporate data, or the data you have been granted access to automatically to your local folder. Even if you change something here, it's getting synced as soon as you're back online. So very comfortable feature.
But it's
And
not,
you
this is not done in a standard way, but if you want to use this really private local AI PC, of course you need also the data locally.
Exactly,
Hmm.
exactly. That's the trick because you could be offline, you could be in a plane, you could be in a train, you could be traveling in Germany,
Hmm.
sometimes difficult, or whatever. So, or you can be on a secret mission. You don't want to connect to any kind of internet. So that's the beauty.
Understood.
Everything you download here, you can prompt against. But let's stop with theory. Let's go to our agent Vincent, and let me ask him some question. I created a kind of strategy paper. It's called Der digitale Eidgenosse, the digital, Swiss, let's say,
Confederate.
confederate, right? So let me ask in German what I wrote in this document, and at the same time, let's translate. Or let's say, let's start with a prompt to the local documents, as I said. I prepared some, and this is a quite complex one. As you can read, it's what did I mention in the document, Der digitale Eidgenosse, so the Swiss Federate, and summarize in 3 bullet points and translate to English. So quite complex stuff, and we're going to do it, as I said, with the local processor. And yeah, let's just shoot. Here we go. Let's check the performance matrix. I think you can see.
It's fast. That's what I see.
It's pretty fast. You see the CPU in action, the GPU in action. In that case, NPU doesn't make much sense. So this would kick in if we would have a video sequencing or something like that. But as you can see, it's really entirely on the local PC and stressing the GPU. So here we go. A summary, the report discusses blah, 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 the concept. The translation is also because it was a German document, so the prompt understood to first summarize in English and then translate in English, so that's a double bind, but doesn't matter. I think you see it, 3 bullet points prompting against this document, quite complex document in German. So I think this is just great, isn't it?
It is. It is.
So let me show you that we also, of course, support server-side prompting. I'm here in our famous VNC Fluid environment. So this is our dashboard, as you might be familiar with, where I can see all the, all the applications I've selected that I would be interested in. So, and let me start a prompt here. Let me ask the AI. And as I said, this is now server-side prompting. And here we go.
This is cool. This is very
Well, as
cool.
I said, let me go back last time to my slide. I hope it's sharing.
Yes?
And here you can see Solar Search. I showed you AI prompt. I've presented mostly the local AI PC stuff because I'm so fascinated about the performance and the accuracy. But on the other side, of course, also server-side prompting. And the last prompt was AI prompt, server, source private against these models. Well, I
Wow.
think this should be fine for the moment. And what is to be expected in the near future, this AI technology, this AI prompting will be part of each and every of our applications. So we're going to add it into the sidebar of each application so that you can, or the user can, or with each application, use the power of local or server-side AI.
Well, okay. Thank you, Bernd, for these insights. And be sure, everybody, if you have questions, get back to us, and we are happy to give you a personal presentation of all these new things. Thank you
Thanks
so
a lot.
much. Bye.
Bye.